You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, we have got Britt alive, but still letting her mom Liesl and everybody else think that she is dead. And there may be more to why Britt is hiding from Liesl than we have seen happen yet on GH. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about a couple of huge reasons that explain why Britt is hiding from her Mutter Liesl, other than the obvious one. And please hit that subscribe button if you're not already following us. So right now, we've got Britt Westbourne living in Croatia at a posh resort, but on a very, very short leash. The guy who runs the place, Pascal, works for the same boss she does, and he's making sure Britt can't really go anywhere. Pascal even took her car keys. Also, we've seen Britt injecting herself with meds that I'm pretty sure are keeping her Huntington's disease under control. These drugs might have been developed by her boss or even Henry Dalton or some secret source, and Britt needs them to stay alive, and that's the only place she can get them. Whoever made the drugs and is doling them out is saving Britt from this terminal disease, at least for now. So there's Jason Morgan's theory that Britt is in hiding to protect her loved ones. Jason told Sonny that Britt may think it's better for Liesl and others to think she's dead. That way, nobody has to watch Britt wither away from the terrible things that Huntington's does to your body. And so obviously, Jason probably thinks that Britt's in really bad shape at this point, based on where her symptoms were and everything. Although he saw her and she looked okay, he knows it's a degenerative disease. So this is Jason's theory, and Britt hasn't said this out loud, but I do think Stone Cold is right about that part of it, that Britt doesn't want Liesl or anybody else to see her weakened and in a very bad state. But I think there's a lot more to why Britt's staying away and keeping the secret that she's alive. And I think obviously that's stuff that Jason would have no idea about. I think there's a shocking reason that Britt is staying away from Port Charles, far away, when she's very much alive and still loves people there. We know Pascal is reporting to somebody, the same person that Britt is, and she's managing her symptoms, but she's not a happy camper. Britt's under somebody's thumb. She doesn't have much of a life, and by the end of this week, she's pushing back hard. That probably won't go over well. She is stuck at this resort, basically in one room, just going over data from experiments carried out by Dalton, who's back in Port Charles. But Britt's starting to get annoyed that she's trapped at the resort, and I feel like the person she works for has leverage over her. Something shocking that they are using to keep Britt in line. So yeah, letting Liesl think she died from Heather Weber's hook attack is absolutely to spare Liesl from watching Britt die a slow and awful death. She may worry that Liesl would even blame herself because she couldn't save Britt from the Huntingtons that she inherited from Faison. And we all know, as weird and twisted as she is, Liesl has a great medical mind, and she would devote herself to trying to stop the disease progression and buy Britt more time, even if the disease can't be cured. So Britt may be worried that Liesl would feel really guilty seeing Britt slip away and doesn't want her mom Liesl to feel that way, to feel responsible for not being able to cure the incurable. And another shocker that may be in store in General Hospital is Britt may be trying to protect Liesl from her mystery boss. This guy may have threatened Britt's loved ones to get her to cooperate. Her boss might have threatened Liesl if Britt tried to reach out to her mother. The boss may even threaten to drop Britt back in Port Charles just in time for her loved ones to watch her die. If this guy is really bad, there's no telling what kind of leverage he's got. We know the boss controls the supply of the medicine that's keeping Britt alive and her symptoms under control. And another possible shocker is that Britt might be trying to keep her mom and the mystery boss apart for other reasons. Maybe because of who her boss is. It could be somebody who might hurt Liesl or that has some sort of fixation. You know, like if Britt's boss was, say, a Casadine, like crazy Victor because they were involved in the past. And yeah, he supposedly died in 2023, but that means absolutely nothing because Britt was dead too. And yet here we are talking about Britt not being dead. Plus Victor's a Casadine and they're like cockroaches. It's very hard to keep any of them dead. If you were watching back then, you'll recall that Liesl was the object of Victor's obsession for a long time. He claimed he was in love with Liesl, but it was a fixation because that's how Cassadines roll. They don't have normal relationships. So there's a chance Victor could still be alive and maybe he's the one who has Britt. We could find out that Victor saved Britt and found a way to keep her Huntington under control as a way to eventually win Liesl's heart. So in Victor's wackadoo mind, maybe he thinks if he can find a cure for Britt, then Liesl might forgive him and love him. You know, if he finds a way to let Britt live longer and with less severe symptoms, Liesl might say, "Oh, Victor, you're wonderful," you know? So when Victor first came back onto General Hospital in 2021, if you don't remember, he kidnapped Liesl, hoping to win her affection. He is definitely one who is willing to go to extremes. So somebody like Victor is a possibility as Britt's mystery boss that Dalton and Sidwell were talking about. There are also similarities between Victor and Sidwell that hint they could be working together because Victor and Sidwell both like to keep people locked up in cells as prisoners in remote parts of the world and use people's family as leverage. Or, you know, Britt's secret boss could be an old enemy of Liesl and Faison's that we either haven't heard of or haven't seen in a long time. They definitely had plenty of people that hated them. And we still don't know if Britt's mystery boss is going to be a long-term player or just a really short-term villain who Jason defeats in Croatia and then it's over. In which case, it might be a throwaway bad guy. I personally think it would be great if it were Victor because that could also lead to a reveal about Spencer returning and he is also supposedly dead. No matter why Britt is hiding from Liesl, I do hope that Britt lets her mom know she's alive very soon. And we've got Joss and Vaughn headed to Croatia. So Joss is on a collision course with Dr. Westbourne. And Joss, of course, would be stunned to see Britt alive, the woman who sacrificed herself to save Joss from the hook. And then by the end of this week, it looks like Anna may encourage Jason to go to Croatia as well to stop anything from happening to Joss. If you remember, Anna warned Jack that Joss is too new of an agent to do this and she's in over her head. So we've got messy stuff coming soon and the big bad boss reveal should be a big shocker where Britt is concerned.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.